and welcome back. This week I'm going to continue looking at the Public Engagement Evaluation Toolkit, and we're going to dive into methods that you can use to visualize feedback. So we're going to collect information, data about the impact of your research and your engagement, but we're going to do it in a visual way. So it's hopefully going to be creative, fun, and time efficient. So the first thing that I'm going to look at is 3D post-it feedback. So the idea here is that you find some kind of 3D thing. It could be a model, so model car, a model house. I've seen this done with a sculpture of an animal. Something linked to your research in some shape or form, I would argue. And then you're putting piles of post-it notes around, and there's a message on this saying, what do you think of the event? Or a question, what do you want to do as a result of today? Or what have you learned? Something like that. And you get people to put the post-it notes onto the 3D model, and gradually over the course of the day you find this really colourful, vibrant post-it thing that you have created, co-created as a group. So it's a fun and creative way of getting lots of feedback and encouraging people to add feedback into your pile. Another one is the graffiti wall. So here's an actual image from Queen Mary University London's Festival of Communities. And so they actually had a graffiti artist who was capturing what was happening on the day and creating a beautiful graffiti wall. Now this is a kind of a nice, creative, attractive way of doing this, but you can also just have a big whiteboard or some other kind of thing that you can draw on. So a papered wall, for example, have pens and encourage people to leave their comments. It could be post-it notes, it could be just written on. Ideally you're locating this at the exit of an event or at the back of an exhibition or something like that, and you've got someone encouraging people to put their feedback on. If you can make it visual in some kind of way, then it does make it much more fun though, I think. The last one from here is a technique called photo survey. So this is a technique that actually comes out of social science, and so you can use this to different levels. Essentially what you're doing now is you're inviting people to take photographs. So this could be of your event. It could be thematically now to take photographs about a particular issue that you're researching and trying to engage people around. I've seen this done very effectively around people's local communities. Take pictures of things you like or you don't like. The traditional way of doing this was with a disposable camera and a notebook, but you can now do this with apps. So there is an app, I forget the name, I'll put it into the show notes, that was developed by Natural England or for Natural England. That basically enables people to take photographs and then geolocate them and upload them to a map. But there are various other systems that you can use to do this online, and so I'm asking you to take photographs, and if I can, I'm getting you to give me some information about why you took it, what it means to you, and where you took that photograph, which is why these geolocating kind of things are quite cool. And then I can look at this on a map and I can see some hot spots, bright spots of things that people love, things that people really dislike. I can color code things in terms of where people have written things for or against a particular issue or something like that. And whether or not I geolocate them in that way, what I have now is a data source which is very visual, which is images that people have taken with notes about why they've taken them, what this thing means to them. And I can do lots of things with this now. So the first thing I might do is to hold some kind of exhibition. So as a form of feedback in my end of project workshop or at the end of the event or something like this, I am now capturing these, printing them out, sticking them up, framing them even, maybe if I've got some budget, and putting quotes next to them. What's quite useful, quite interesting in fact, is when you get very similar photos or photos of the same thing even, but quite different comments that show how different people perceive the issue at hand. Now, if you want to kind of take this to the next level, you're then inviting those people who've taken photographs. Would you be willing to do an interview with me? And you can do that by phone, but ideally you're actually taking images with you, and you're now talking to these people through their photographs. So why did you take this, and what were you thinking at the time? And of course, one of the biases here is that people only give you feedback about things that you can actually capture in a photograph, and in the interview you can kind of capture the other things around this. So the final thing that I'm going to give you now is a wall. So this is kind of like you know, the things that kids get where you've got a dot-to-dot picture. So what you're doing now is you've got a dot-to-dot, but it's big and it's on the wall. And what we've got is little squares which are drawn onto the wall in pencil, so not too obvious. It's not jumping out to you what this is an image of. And you're inviting people now to place post-it notes in each of the squares. And the more post-it notes you get, the more that outline becomes clear. And by the end of it, actually, you've done the dot-to-dot, and you can actually see what that is an image of. And again, you're encouraging people to put more feedback on because you want to see what image is going to emerge. I saw this done in a different way in an exhibition, and I forget what it was now that was relevant about this, but they were using treasure tags. So you know those little kind of brown tags with a bit of string on them, and there was something about that. They're often used for putting onto parcels, and it was something to do with travel or something in this exhibition, which was why they'd chosen this. And what they had was a series of hooks on the wall in a pattern, and you were encouraged to take your treasure tag, write your feedback on it, and hang it on the hook. And by the end of the day, you could see the image that had been created by these. Lots of things, 4 things there, lots more if you want to download this. This is available online. Just I'll put the notes in the show notes where to go and find this. But you don't have to stick with really boring forms of feedback, and actually you can encourage people to engage and to give you more feedback when you get more creative. It's more fun, it saves time, you get better data, and ultimately you get the proof that actually this did work, or not, as the case may be, and you can do something about it if the answer is you're getting some negative feedback here. Try it out, see how you get on.